Hey there, Quilt Maven Dave here, coming to you from Maven Central. And I would like to answer a question from a new subscriber to my website, which is www.quiltmavendave.com. And I was asked about my appearance on the quilt show. Apparently, I said a couple of times that I would show you how to prepare your paper piecing pattern. If you didn't have 17-pound vellum, I would show you how to do it on regular copy paper. And then uh, I forgot. And so I'm here to answer that question. How would you use regular copy paper and prepare it so that it mimicked vellum as best it could, and because of the method that I teach, could use it over and over and over again? So here's what you do. I printed out my pattern and I highlighted each of the lines that indicate where you're going to stitch. And the first thing after I highlighted it, I went in and I folded back the pattern. Looking at the right side, I folded it back precisely on the printer line, the printed line, the black line, because the precision matters when you come to these corners and these points. You want to have really precise folding. And so that's what I did. I folded it looking at the right side so that when I folded it, wrong sides were touching. And again, remember, I highlighted it first. And then in order to use the pattern, what you do is flip it over to the other side and recrease it from the back of the pattern to the front, so that when you're done, all of your folds are facing up towards you. I mean, if you pull this together, I think 3 more folds and you'd have a candy dish. So that's what I did on the front of the pattern. And you always highlight on the right side because you don't want any highlighter to bleed onto your fabric once you start attaching it to the other side. The other thing that happens when you highlight along those lines, when you look at the back of the pattern, you can see clearly where each of your segments are. And then what I did was I took the numbers from the front and just transferred them to the back. So that if I'm looking at the back of the pattern, remember what we do is as we're attaching, before we get ready to sew, remember we fold the pattern back towards ourselves, and we need to be able to see that line so we can orient the next piece of fabric. So that's why I highlighted it, and that's why I have the numbers on the back, so I can be sure as I'm starting the process and continuing through it that I can see what segment I'm working on. Then after I put the numbers on, I took my trusty invisible Scotch tape and I put tape over each of the numbers, thusly. And it's okay if your tape extends beyond these folded lines because the Scotch tape creases really nicely. So all you need to do is refold and the Scotch tape creases right where the paper is folded. And remember, I use glue in the process, glue stick. And so what the tape does is it gives the back of the pattern a smooth surface, much like vellum. And this pattern, once you've highlighted it, folded it, renumbered it, and then put tape on the back, this is good to go. And it is equally as good as vellum, except for the fact that it's not translucent. So if you're awake at 2 o'clock in the morning, can't sleep, don't know what to do, if you're anything like me, you go to your computer and you start Googling things and watching YouTube videos and checking out quilt patterns, and you get lost in the rabbit hole of quilts, and you see this really terrific paper pieced quilt, but you don't have your vellum, you just have regular copy paper, and you're just dying to start it. So you can print out your copies on regular copy paper and prepare them the way I just showed you, and you will be able to use regular paper as effectively as vellum. Thank you so much for watching, And don't forget to subscribe to www.quiltmavendave.com, and that will be in the comment section below. Have a good one.